Overwhelmed? That was me with diabetes. Hey, I'm Jabron. Between teaching and coaching, managing diabetes felt like an extra job. With the Freestyle Libre 3CGM, I get real-time glucose readings and have the insights to make informed decisions. My life feels lighter now. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
The views expressed should not be used for medical diagnosis or treatment as a substitute for professional medical advice. Individual circumstances may vary. For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
What is that?
Oh, yeah, it's a World Cup holder.
Like the soccer tournament World Cup?
Holder. For the world. Fits every car, holds every cup.
It has a Carvana logo?
Yeah, Carvana made it. They buy and sell cars, so they made a car cup holder. So, got any good cups lately?
I used to. I just couldn't figure out where in the world to put them.
The World Cup holder. Brought to you by Carvana. Proud sponsors of the World Cup holder.
Sign up today to win yours at cup-holder2026.com. Not authorized or endorsed by FIFA. Not a real product. For parity and fair use purposes only.
The celebration stops tonight. I got drafted today, but tomorrow I'm now an NBA player. So get home. I'm gonna work out until I got to report to Utah. Like I said, balls first. I'm a grinder. Like I said, Kobe's my guy, and I'm inspired by him. So I just kind of try to think, what would Kobe do right now? I think he'd get drafted and move on and try to go be the best thing possible. So that's what I'm gonna do. I see a guy with number 1 on the screen up there right now. So I'm extra motivated.
Join the KSL Sports Zone at JCW's and American Fork for the NHL Draft Roundtable Friday from 2 to 6 at 580 East State Street. You hear the music. You know it's time to bring in Brian Geltzeiler once again, SiriusXM NBA Radio and NBA TV contributor. Brian, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How we doing?
We are doing well. How do you believe the Utah Jazz are doing after selecting Darryn Peterson?
Fantastic. Wonderful pick. Fantastic player. Has a chance to be a first-team All-NBA guy before all said and done. This is what you do when you have the number 2 pick in this draft. And I'm thrilled for the Jazz. I'm thrilled for Jazz fans. And it's going to be a very, very interesting team coming up this year because I do think Peterson has the potential to be an immediate impact type of guy. Things are finally, after a while here, trending up in Utah.
You saw Ace Bailey play. I'm sure you're well aware of his game, and you know of Keontae George because you're an NBA guy. How do you think it all fits together?
Very well. I think you're going to have a 3-guard rotation. I think Peterson can play both guard spots. I think that what you needed to do, there's going to be games with George where he's just not making shots. And he likes to take shots, as you guys well know. And I kind of compare George to a Jamal Crawford type of player. When it's going well for him, ride him. It's wonderful to have him out there. But you need to have the kind of roster that can put him on the bench when it's not going well and still function at a high level. Meet Darryn Peterson. And that's what they're able to do right now with those 3 guys in the backcourt. When George has it going well, great. You can even – Bailey's big enough and Peterson's big enough that you could play small too and have the 3 of them on the floor together. But if George doesn't have it going, you now are not necessarily at the mercy of his whims or his sometimes questionable shot selection. And I like Keontae George. I don't want it to feel like I'm piling on him because I think he's still a young player that can work some of this stuff out. And we've seen more than flashes of some brilliance from this guy. So I really do think he can play. But I love the structure of this Jazz team right now. I think that, they didn't overthink it. No one overthought it in those first 4 picks. And I got to give all 4 of those teams credit. But for the Jazz here, the chalk pick, Darryn Peterson, was the correct pick.
Everybody's focused on the offensive end of the floor. There's a half dozen guys or certainly 5 guys, maybe 6, who could score a bunch of points for them. That'll enable the coach to maybe prioritize defense, and they will have Kessler and Jackson, who combined only played 7 years ago, but they've been one of the worst teams in the league in this tanking phase. They've got to get a lot better. Do you think the fact that Peterson has chosen Kobe as the favorite player. He's getting a Kobe tat on his shoulder. A.J. DeBonsa says Durant. That's no surprise, right? A.J.'s watched a big chunk of Durant's career. But the ages don't really line up for Kobe. Does that tell us something about Peterson and the way he's going to want to defend in the NBA?
Yeah, maybe that may listen. It's easy to say that and do that. I don't know that that's a clear indication, but I will give you a clear indication. And you guys know this. We've discussed this many a time. My radio partner, my close friend Sam Mitchell, coached Darryn Peterson for about 50 games over 2 summers. and knows him and knows his family very well. Any thought that Darryn Peterson does not defend well, that is not true. He will bust his butt on that end of the floor. He to me will be a very, very good defensive player. He has a ton of competitive fire. He is a quiet leader, but one of the guys off the floor, and it's very important to note that. Peterson is well-liked by teammates. I know a lot of the stories out of Kansas. I think he may have had a bad voice in his ear there, from what I understand, in terms of saying, hey, prioritize the NBA over Kansas, and maybe listened a little too much. I'm not sure I buy the creatine story or the cramping, but my point being is that everything Sam has told me, everything that I've seen, is that this guy has a chance to be a high-level defensive player in this league. So, the Kobe tattoo notwithstanding, I have a lot of confidence in Darryn Peterson as an excellent two-way player.
I think now that you're an NBA player, it's going to be up to you. Whoever you is, the individual, and we saw that. We saw that from Jalen Brunson. He's talked about they replayed when he signed. I can't do this, I can't do that, but you can't judge my heart. And Brian, I live in Utah, and I'm not really sure why I live in Utah, but I'm still a Jersey guy, and I wake up every day thinking, okay, who can I exact revenge from today? Who got under my skin, and who am I going to prove wrong? And so I had the opportunity to interview in a phone call with a couple other guys on our station, Darryn Peterson, and I asked him, what do you think about going number 2 in terms of providing motivation? And I don't know if you heard the answer, but I'm going to play it for you right now and get your response.
Now I'm with the Jazz, and I'm super excited to get there. And it'll definitely keep a chip on my shoulder throughout my whole career. And I'll take it out on everybody, not just that guy in particular.
And that one guy in particular would be A.J. DeBonsa, because he went ahead of him. Just get your reaction, because to me, that just screamed what I needed to hear.
I totally agree. But that's consistent with everything that, A, I've seen out of Peterson with what I've watched, and B, with everything Sam has told me about him. Sam describes him as a killer. And, guys, I can't stress it enough. Sam's not throwing that around about guys. We do a segment on our show every week called Unranked Mofos. And it's all based upon a YouTube rant that Sam had to an Adidas Nation 16U team that he coached that had Zion Williamson on it, Cam Reddish, Naz Reid, and Quentin Grimes. And what Sam's saying in the rant was that it doesn't matter where you're ranked. Guys are coming to take your lunch every single time you step on the floor. And he's yelling at his team in a game that they won about just generally being outworked. Here's my point. Sam isn't always partial to guys that have been ranked high their entire high school career on a national level. He looks at those guys kind of with a little bit of a skeptical eye, because those are guys that act at times like they're entitled to things. Darryn Peterson, who's had his moments here at Kansas, to be fair, for the most part, does not act like he's entitled to anything. He wants to go and rip the throat out of the guy across from him. And I think he just kind of said it best from everything I understand about him. Not just A.J. DeBonsa, everyone. That's how Darryn Peterson is wired. The Jazz got themselves a guy I think is going to be a very good player immediately and not far away from being a great player in the NBA.
Well, I'm glad he added that, everyone, because he's only going to play 2 games against that guy at the most, and he's going to play 80 against everybody else at the most. So I'm glad he threw that in there. And there is this whole, because everybody here, well, not everybody, but older fans here watch Stockton and Malone, and it took them forever to get to the NBA Finals, but they got there, right? Now, teams, you tank for 2, 3, 4 years, then you're on the elevator for 2, 3, 4 years, and then everyone's overpaid and they got to tear it up because they don't have enough money to keep the group together. And we're already starting to see that with the Thunder, and they're going to have to jettison some guys. How big is an advantage is it going to be to have him presumably, hopefully, overperforming his rookie contract in an age when teams just don't have enough money to keep their groups together?
It's going to be enormously important under one condition. They don't spend frivolously while they have him on the rookie deal and then end up in a situation with contracts on the books that are not movable and then having to turn around and pay Peterson. The thing that happens with some teams is they forget how quick those rookie scale deals expire. And the Thunder have been very good at it. But again, now the Thunder, part of having all these first-round picks is being able to say goodbye to higher-priced guys to be able to replace them with rookie scale scale deals. And I think you're going to see that with Isaiah Hartenstein and Adai Mara, who they drafted last night. I think that's going to be a seamless move in where essentially you're going to save $20 million a year and have Mara play the same position as Hartenstein, who I think may not be as good as Hartenstein early on, but fits every bit as well, if not better. So, but you have to be careful how you dole out those contracts. Listen, Jaren Jackson's making a lot of money, and it all leads to something that you haven't asked me about yet, but I'm going to comment on right now, which is the Walker Kessler offer, which I think Walker Kessler is absolutely insane to not put his signature on it. And I get the fact that there's teams out there that have cap space. But if I'm Walker Kessler's agent, my antennas just went up the night before the draft when you see the Nets use a chunk of their open cap space on Julius Randle and the Bulls use a chunk of their open cap space to bring in Nick Claxton. You got that cap space is precious in the second apron era. And Walker Kessler should take a look at Jonathan Kuminga and Quentin Grimes and Cam Thomas and see what they went through and use Josh Giddey as his model, who signed probably was a little bit of below market offer in terms of what he thought he was worth and what his numbers indicate, but he's locked into decent money for 5 years. The offer they made Walker Kessler is beyond fair. Matter of fact, it may be a little bit rich for what he's done with the fact that he hasn't been able to stay on the floor for the better part of 2 seasons now. Kessler is insane not to sign it. It is a great deal for him. It is a good deal for the Jazz, and it will help the Jazz stay nimble and take advantage of Peterson's rookie scale deal for the time that they have it. So I think it's really important because Jaren Jackson's making a lot of money, and I get why they traded for him. I think it was a good trade. I think he's going to help them. You got to have some guys that are making a lot of money, but Larry Markkanen's making a lot of money. Breaking the bank for Kessler is irresponsible, and here's the thing, Kessler doesn't have the leverage here. The Jazz have all the leverage.
Some talk that Austin Ainge has a real strong relationship with Jaylen Brown, and they could possibly make that move with Markkanen and then throw in some other folks and all that stuff. What do you think about that?
With this team right now, I would strongly consider it. I really would. And I love Larry Markkanen, but if you think you're that good to compete now, listen, Bailey had a good year last year, and I think he makes a big jump this year. I think Peterson's transition to the NBA is going to be pretty smooth. I look at Jackson and who he is, and yes, there's a little bit of a rebounding issue there, but is Markkanen that much better of a rebounder than Jaylen Brown? Jaylen Brown would come to this situation with his own team, with Austin Ainge, as you said, has a close relationship with the guy that drafted him overseeing the whole thing in Danny Ainge, and I think it would be a fantastic fit for both sides. I think it's a very interesting trade to take a look at, and I think it's the type of trade that catapults the Jazz into a playoff situation this year, potentially at that 6-7 spot with how stacked the West is. But I think it's something that moves the Jazz forward here in the short term. And again, the most important part of this, guys, there's not an enormous age difference between Markkanen and Jaylen Brown. And yeah, the Jazz may have to throw some things in here, some other assets, some other picks. They have a lot of picks. They have the luxury of that right now. And if Jaylen Brown's available, I would take advantage of that because I do think there is a little bit of a clumsy basketball fit with Markkanen and Jaren Jackson. I know we hear a lot when Markkanen can play the 3, and he can, but he has some deficiencies and some holes defensively at the 3. He's much better on that end of the floor as a 4. You don't have that with Jaylen Brown, and you guys brought it up earlier. How good can you be defensively with Peterson and Bailey and George? Bring Jaylen Brown in, you are a much better defensive basketball team.
Brown would cost, depending on the year, they both got 3 more years on their deal here, $12 to $15 million more. He is a year younger. Would you rather, and I think we can all agree Brown's an upgrade on Markkanen, but at the cost of $12 to $15 million a year, that's money you could spend to go get another player and round out your team, which if we use the Knicks as the most recent example, seems to be pretty valuable if you spend that money wisely. So when you factor that in, what would you do?
Well, so the Jazz have an advantage the Knicks did not have, which is they have guys that are in the rotation right now on rookie scale deals. And so I think the Jazz could afford to do that, take on that extra money to give themselves a guy who was a Finals MVP. And I love Larry Markkanen. I am certainly not, I'm not besmirching him in any way because I think he's a terrific player and I think he's been great for the Jazz. He's not Jaylen Brown. He's not a Finals MVP. And he's not a guy that just showed you he can put a team on his back without much there to a 50-win season. He's done all that. And with what the Jazz have behind him with Jackson and the young guys, Bailey and Peterson, and assuming they get Kessler back at the right deal, that's a dangerous team. That's a team that can be really, really good, and it's an upgrade. And I would say for the $12 to $15 million a year more over the life of the contract, you use some of your draft picks to see if you can replenish that. Listen, the Knicks, they won an NBA championship, and I give them credit. And Leon Rose did a fantastic job there. With all that said, I don't necessarily love what he did in that draft last night. I think that they're adamant to not go into the second apron, and part of that is going to be Mitchell Robinson taking less. And I think with some of the offers in the open market to Mitchell Robinson and how valuable he is, I think it's going to have to be a lot less, and I don't know that he does it. It's a calculated gamble for the Knicks, but they could have absolutely insulated themselves from that gamble last night in getting themselves a rotation-ready player, and there were guys available there at the end of the first round when they were on the board last night that are rotation-ready at a small rookie scale deal that would have helped them navigate this second apron. So I like where the Jazz stand from that standpoint is when you have guys that you count on rookie scale deals that are going to be in your rotation and going to be meaningful parts, you don't have to break the bank for role players.
When July gets here, that tends to be trading free agent season, and that's coming up next week. Do you anticipate much news breaking as far as that goes?
Yeah, I think it's going to be active. I think, the last couple of years have been relatively quiet, mostly because teams have been capped out. You have some teams with some cap space. The Lakers are obviously going to be a team to watch closely. We talk a lot about LeBron James, but the Austin Reeves thing is going to have a major pivot. I would be shocked if the Detroit Pistons don't make some kind of significant move to get a second shot creator behind Cade Cunningham. So I think you're going to see them be very active, and they have Jalen Darryn as a restricted free agent and have to make a financial decision there. So, watch the Clippers here. I think the Clippers also, ton of cap space there. They can be very active. So I think I think we're going to see a whole lot of activity, some sign and trade activity that'll take place. It's going to be a little bit of a busier free agency time than we've seen in the past. But again, more trades and sign and trade types of things than just flat out free agency signings.
What did you think of the Giannis trade with Miami? Are those two teams both still a long way away, or you think a few more dominoes follow and one of them might change their situation pretty quickly?
Well, all right. So let's talk Miami. All right. If you could tell me you're going to have Giannis on the floor in the playoffs, Miami's formidable. They are formidable as is. Now, listen, it's going to be next to impossible for them to keep both Wiggins and Norm Powell. They're going to try to. I think they need them both to be formidable. I just think they need more shooting than what they have. But I do think Miami with Giannis on the floor is going to be tough. But the other thing is this: last year he wasn't in the playoffs. The 3 prior years he got hurt in the playoffs. So is he going to be on the floor and healthy for them is a major question. Listen, the Bucks. It's a tale of two stories with the Bucks. They butchered the Giannis situation. This should have been dealt with at least a year ago, if not 2 years ago. They tried to keep a closed championship window open, running up against desperation in a way that has damaged their franchise for the next 4 years. The Lillard dead money is going to be something that haunts them in a big way, and that Turner contract with the way he played last year may not be all that tradable. So Milwaukee made a mess of this by just trying to hold on to Giannis too long and not being accepting of their fate that he was ready to go somewhere else. With all that said, they did a very good job last night. Burries was the right pick at 10. They really wanted a Ment. It was no secret how fond of Nate Ament the Bucks were, and the Bucks made a calculated gamble in taking Burries, who fell to them, who they felt would be a guy that would go higher at 10, with the knowledge that the 2 Michigan guys were likely to go off the board in some order to Golden State and Oklahoma City, and I mean Mara and Ladenburg. And they ended up rolling the dice and getting the guy they wanted. Understand the consolation prize would have been the other one of those two. Now, I think they would have been okay with Ladenburg. I'm not sure how much they would have wanted Mara. Bottom line is it worked out for them. John Horst played that correctly. So they are trending in the right direction. I just will tell you this. Miami wasn't upset to say goodbye to Khalil Ware. And this was a guy who sometimes would come out, be 3 of 5 from 3, 20-15 and 3 blocks, and the next day would act like he didn't want to be there. And Eric Spoelstra, people will get on Eric Spoelstra's taste for DMP coaches' decisions. The guy generally, you didn't know what you were getting in terms of him being interested in playing basketball day to day. And I know the same thing from what happened with Mike Woodson at Indiana when he had him there. So for the Heat to be able to use Ware as a lead piece in a Giannis deal was a big win. And we'll see what happens with Ware. Maybe Ware being the centerpiece on a bad team ends up being better for him and he's more engaged. I don't know. But listen, Milwaukee's got a long way to go, and it didn't have to be this way for the Bucks. They stretched this thing out a lot longer than they ever should.
Brian, we will leave it right there. Folks can hear you on SiriusXM NBA Radio and see you on NBA TV. And we love having you on. We will talk to you again when free agency gets crazy. How about that?
It will be my pleasure, gentlemen. I'll talk to you guys soon. You take care.
DJ PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. When we come back, everything you missed in this show, which is mostly draft, and more draft. We'll get to that next. Stay with us.
Hey there, it's Wayfair here, where delivery and setup are as easy as a few taps on your phone. You're relaxing in an old hammock, scrolling Wayfair's app, when you spot it, a brand new patio set. Next thing you know, Wayfair delivers it right to your patio and sets it up. Oh, you need a new grill too? All right, Wayfair's got you covered. With Wayfair's Room of Choice delivery and fast expert setup on qualifying orders, life gets a little easier. Visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
With the second pick in the 2026 NBA Draft, the Utah Jazz select Darryn Peterson from the University of Kansas.
Now I'm with the Jazz, and I'm super excited to get there. And it'll definitely keep a chip on my shoulder throughout my whole career. And I'll take it out on everybody, not just that guy in particular.
Slacker Red Headlines brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan Wealth today, your local trusted financial fiduciary. Call them at 1-855-TRAJAN1 or visit their website at TrajanWealth.com.
I know what he feels, man. You've got to find motivation. Like yesterday when he didn't know that I was listening down at JCW's and Christian called me long-winded, I'm going to take it out on him.
How long can you not fire you up for? 82 games?
You've worked with this guy for almost 25 years. You know how long this can last.
I have a segment to fill, and right now, I don't need help from you. Later on, I may well. But right now, I got this under control. It's 11 minutes till break. That was going to be good radio.
Well, that was good radio, though. That was a good, pertinent comment.
I've been with you for 12 years. I have an idea here.
Well, 82 games is April, so at least until April.
Yeah, about 100 games would be good.
100 would be good, yes.
I think they'll make the postseason. And, I mean, Kobe's this guy, right? And that's great. What a ball player. Mm-hmm. And so then Kobe, his rookie year, is shooting the air balls across the street. That carried him for a decade. That stung. Even with the titles, it still stung. I don't think it ever didn't sting. It stuck with him. And you have to have something now because everybody's a pro. Everybody's making outrageous money, most likely relative to what they grew up in. And you've got to have stuff out there that's going to make you the very best. And it can't be what you used to do. Because Kobe talked about this, that he felt it was clear the air balls were because of lack of strength. He didn't have the strength to withstand what was going to happen during the season and playoff because he had never been in that situation. So he internalizes it. Why did it happen? Here's why it happened. Now I got to go lift. I got to work out. I got to do all these things to make sure when that situation arises that I have the physical strength to be able to withstand the long season and playoff run, right? And so he went about it. Here's my problem. How do I correct it? And then obviously he did it at an extremely high level. And this kid he's going to face similar. And how are you going to do it? There's going to be some type of failure his rookie year. It just can't be all sunshine and roses his rookie year. There's got to be something there that isn't right. And what are you going to do about it? Yeah, I'm fired up for the young man. Absolutely. He said exactly what I wanted to hear, which is why I asked the question.
Matt Tate covered Kansas Jayhawks for R1S1 Sports and Wave the Wheat. He joined us earlier this morning. Talked about Peterson. You played the bite for him and also for Brian Geltzeiler, who just joined us. You want to hear their reactions to that? Wherever you get your podcasts.
I mean, I don't want to hear how excited is he, because I already know that. KSLSports.com, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, whatever. He's going to be way excited.
Everybody, not just that guy in particular.
Play that again. I talked over it.
And I'll take it out on everybody, not just that guy in particular.
You, and you.
Yeah, they're sitting in Memphis going, well, we'd have taken you if you were on the board. What are you mad at us for? But that's what Jazz fans want to hear. It doesn't have to be rational. If the only thing that fires them up is playing AJ DeBonsa, well, that's only 2 games a year. You got 80 more.
We saw it last winter. Oh, he just happened to have a phenomenal first half that was punctuated by a dunk over 5 guys' faces.
But that was just dumb luck. Or he wanted to be the number 1 pick and he was playing BYU and AJ DeBonsa.
Right. Coincidence. Right. I'm sure.
But then he sat out the last 15 or 18 minutes or whatever it was.
Well, they won.
They did?
Yeah. And
I've done enough. You guys bring it home.
Yeah. I want to kick back. I want to ruin my NBA situation. So away you go, man. Yeah, absolutely, man. To me, that was the most pertinent response that he gave all night, and he did a night full of interviews.
But he's checked a lot of boxes and said a lot of stuff along the way. Something about the Utah guys, I think I could really fit
really
with them.
Good too.
That's a quote that he dropped to his agent shortly after the Combine talk.
Yeah, I asked him 2 questions. The second one was about the team, and it's like he had the roster in front of him. He knew all about it. Clearly, he knew this was going to happen, and he was prepared for the moment, and he responded. Now, it's just talk, and you got to go play.
It's all he can do the night of the draft. But the go play part, July 4th, Saturday afternoon.
Oh, there will be fireworks.
Fireworks in the Huntsman Center before you go to your favorite fireworks show. Double the fireworks.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. He's gonna light my fire.
July 4th, 6th, and 7th at the Huntsman Center.
I can't be there the 6th and 7th.
Call Chris Barney and get your tickets now.
I can't do that.
Oh, really?
I will be in Texas.
Big 12 Media Days. Mm-hmm. Duty calls, stories overlap.
Yeah. I'm thinking about cutting out around 3, maybe 4 at the Star in Frisco and chartering to get back so I can be here.
Have Ryan send you a plane.
Oh, yeah, I mean, let's see.
Okay.
I don't want to be beholden to them.
Okay.
He lights my fire.
He does. Clearly.
Yeah.
You know that it would be untrue.
Don't want to be untrue.
I don't want to be a liar.
No lying.
No.
If I was to say to you,
Darryn,
come on, Darryn, light my fire. Come on, Darryn, light my fire. Come on, Darryn, light my fire.
Yeah. The time to hesitate is through.
Fire!
Fire!
Now he's got to bring in a couple more guys, round out this roster, give the coach enough guys that this is the old Steve Cleveland quote. It was probably true 40 years ago. You heard it 20 years ago. It's true today, and it'll probably be true in 20 more years. Pablo will come on when RSL starts playing next month and say, competition. That's what drives guys. They got to look over their shoulder playing time. They got to look over in basketball and see the bench and think, I got to defend right now. Or are they going to send this guy? And coach always snaps when I don't defend.
Yeah, I think it was almost 30 years ago now because Steve Cleveland, I think there was 70, 97, 98.
You're right. It would have been, yeah.
Was his first.
Yeah.
And I remember him telling me the thing that drove him nuts is that everybody knew in his first team or two he had to play the guys he had to play because the other guys weren't good enough and there wasn't competition and everybody knew it. And so, in a sense, his hands were tied. Well, once he got the program up and running, then it was you gotta be scratching and clawing for PT.
Ace Bailey and Darryn Peterson and Keontae George can keep each other accountable. Don't be the worst defender. That'll put your butt on the bench. And if they're all 3 excellent defenders, Ace can play some 3. So I think it's totally possible to get them out on the floor.
For sure. I think
if they decide that's the way they want to go. Or if the players just demand it. play that well, and they don't want to take you out because you're lighting it up. You're on fire.
Go on,
Darryn, light my.
Well, yeah, the opportunities are there for all of these guys to play, and even the younger guys who've now taken a little bit more of a back seat as the talent has increased. They have opportunities to have roles, and the four guys, I guess, jump out to us would be Cody Williams, but man, he might be way back in the pack. But what are you going to do about it, Cody? Yeah. And then also, obviously, Filipowski, Collier, and Sensabaugh.
Yep.
What are you guys going to do about it, man? You want to be in the league. Here's your opportunity.
They got 6 really good players, but 6-man rotations aren't the way to go. You're going to need an 8 or 9 player rotation, and guys are going to miss games. Right. So guys 10, 11, there's still a way to get on the court and then expand your role from there. Do they go out and get a center?
A backup.
A backup center and a veteran guard to put in the rotation. And are they good at that point?
Oh, I think they would be good at that point. I don't necessarily know that I have a strong, absolute must belief in getting a veteran guard.
If they want to win the playoffs, I think they better do it. I do get the logic of not doing it, riding with these guys and let them play.
Well, everything
you got
is money
3, and Collier's the 4th guy.
What's it going to be? And you got the Mahaliuk, however you say his name. He has been around.
Svi Mikhailuk.
He has been around for a good while now.
And Austin Ainge mentioned him.
Yeah, I'm not going to count him out.
And mentioned Conchar also, so it's possible that those are their guys. I don't think Austin was just randomly throwing names out there. Could have been a little signaling going on.
Well, you don't want to bury guys now. Let them know there's a lifeline. Hey, and if you busted and play well in the role that Will Hardy has assigned you, you have a spot on our team.
They have 10 guys under contract. Peterson would be 11. If Kessler signs, that's 12 guys, and there's still 3 spots left. Because I'm counting Svi signed for this year, and Conchar also.
Oh, maybe those are the guys.
And I think Conchar showed pretty well. He's 30. He'll be in a contract year. You tend to get really good seasons out of people in a contract year because
money's down the line.
He'll want a deal in 27, 28.
Of course he will.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the Lion King here, man.
Yak, you got some breaking news for the people as we recap the show? What do you got?
Yeah, so we've been talking about Darryn Peterson and him wanting to be Kobe being his idol. Well, the guy they call Hillbilly Kobe, Austin Reeves, he is signing a 4-year, $185 million maximum contract to stick with the Los Angeles Lakers, an average of $46.25 million annually.
Undrafted to $46 million.
Started out as a two-way guy, yeah.
He went from Hillbilly to Hancock Park, Austin Reeves.
Hancock Park. Local LA knowledge there.
That is upscale Beverly Hills.
Right. Can live down with the little people in Beverly Hills, please.
Yeah.
So he cashed in big time.
Oh, hey, that guy had to bust in and work for it, man. You just don't roll out the ball and show up.
Do the Lakers have enough money to round out the roster? Should Jazz fans celebrate that? Because there's plenty of speculation.
Were they going to get anybody better than him?
No, I don't believe they were going to get anybody better than him. I guess we don't know. But I think it's more a depth question. Like now, are guys 5, 6, 7, 8 good enough, or have you put all your money into your top 2 or 3 players?
Depth is a shrinking deal in the NBA. I think you might look into the Jazz and have an exception because they had all these draft picks that they were able to get from the trades, and so they've got some serviceable dudes on cheaper contracts. And, what can the Lakers do there? Because it doesn't seem like the guts of their team was acquired via draft.
Mm-hmm. It just comes down to the last 3 teams standing, the Knicks who won it, and the Thunder who they beat, they beat the Spurs, and the Spurs beat the Thunder, and those 3 teams had 1 player combined over $40 million. Stars are getting a lot of money, and you scream every single time, like, he's good, but he's not that good. And in the current cap era, the numbers are different if you go back, 10 years or whatever, or even 5. But how often does a $30 million player get paid $40 or $50 million?
Well, it does seem he's overpaid relative to his ability.
That is the question with exactly.
I've accepted that. What are they going to do?
But
they're in win now mode. The old man will be 42. So, I mean, you can't be cautious on everything.
It's not about caution. It's about being prudent. Like, you got to get him as a number.
Thing. Mm-hmm. What are they going to do? Let him go and be worse? That's going to fire up LeBron to re-sign with the Lakers.
Yeah, they can't let him go.
Right.
And you can't get your Jalen Brunson to take less. Because you were right about Brunson's argument. Like, Brunson's taking a bow for giving up $100 million, but he was never going to see 50 of it anyway. 50 of it was going to go to the federal government. It was going to go to however many states they play in over the course of the year, and in some cases, cities. These guys are paying taxes all over the place. He's going to lose half that money. Can you make that argument to somebody? Dude, just come in at 36. It's still more money than you ever spend.
California?
And I need the $10 million. I know. It's a harder sell. But New York with their taxes. I mean, Brunson did it in New York City. And you're right, it would be easier. But if I say Florida, then you're going to go, the tax argument again.
Well, you brought it up. I don't know. Lakers didn't get a fair shot. Doncic was down.
Yeah.
So if they get to the NBA Finals and win it, then it was worth every penny.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
So you got to roll the dice, man. You just can't sit on your hands thinking, "Oh, man,
but rolling the dice might be talking him into it.
This is bad." Then it regroup. They're going to have to regroup when LeBron retires anyway, and then they'll have a big fat amount of money when he goes.
A big fat amount of money.
They'll have tons of gazillions of money.
You picture a cartoon, it's like it's just a bunch of really fat $100 bills walking around with legs on them. Yacht?
You do, I don't.
Big fat. I know. That's why I asked Yacht. I know you don't.
Why?
Yacht might.
Yacht's loaded too?
Right. As a radio producer.
No, it's about picturing the cartoon.
You got to be bold, man. You can't. You worry about what are all the downsides. All right, what are they? They're there. But what about the positives? They're there too. Don't make me rooting for the Lakers.
Why not? You root for the Dodgers. What the heck?
Because I'm a baseball guy.
That doesn't even make sense.
Well, no, it doesn't.
LA teams.
Yeah, but I've never really had a favorite NBA team. Except now that Darryn Peterson is here.
Just root against all LA teams all the time. It's the right thing to do. It's how I was raised.
I know, but then you criticize me because I lived in the New York area and I didn't root for any of those teams. Now I root for one of those teams. Well, we're supposed to root against them. What is it? You got me coming and going.
It's supposed to be the team you grew up with. It's supposed to be the New York teams. And I went to college with a New Yorker, and he kept rooting for New York teams when he went to L.A.
I know, but I wasn't wired that way.
Yeah, okay.
I like sports. I didn't necessarily like teams. What's wrong with that? I like sports. I liked all the sports.
We'll try to figure that out in the break. We'll come back with your feedback next. Stay with us.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did you have to fight a dragon?
Nope. She bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
Join the KSL Sports Zone tomorrow from 10 to 6 live at Kenny J's Barbecue at the District in South Jordan. 11610 District Drive. Time for your feedback. What do you have to say about today's show? A lot of you weighing in on Darryn Peterson. Darryn, it is. Sound off. What do you have to say now? Bobby Bucket says the Jazz just drafted a future Hall of Famer. Best case scenario right there. Well, I guess best case scenario would be a 10-time NBA champion. Go best case. But that's a good case right there. Get the Hall of Famer.
Yeah, from the fan perspective, it's to win it all. And I want the player perspective, too. And, try as hard as you can. If you come up short, so be it. But that should be the goal.
Kelly says last year was unwatchable, and this year could be very entertaining if we can stay healthy.
Well, the concept of last year is over. So Austin said we're done tanking. Thankfully, it continued 1 year. Now they're done tanking. And if you would have told me that you could end up with Darryn Peterson as a result of the tanking of the 25-26 season, I would have said full steam ahead. And here we are.
Brett says Peterson genuinely seemed happy on the phone call with the Jazz afterwards, so I'm happy. That's all it took.
Well, I think that,
PR.
They were able to explain what they're about, and that's what I believe in. You hear so many times, Kyle used to say this about perception of Utah. If we can just get him on campus, we got a good shot. Okay, well, metaphorically, they got him on campus. And now he's ready to go. And let's not worry about what's going to happen in 5-6 years down the line. That's ridiculous.
Craig, start winning and all. Start paying attention. Craig speaks for a lot of people. Well, we think they're about to. We'll see. They gotta finish the roster.
I think he speaks for a few. Because I think that fans, there's a difference between paying attention and watching. I think the hardcore Jazz fans, which are millions.
And that's why we got the
so
wire.
They may not have watched, but they knew what was going on. Now they're going to watch.
So just edit this. Start winning and I'll start watching.
Yeah, right. And then you'll be in. And you'll know tonight's game starts at 8:30 because they're playing on the West Coast against the three California teams, right? One of the three. And then, and you're going to make sure you're going to watch. Whereas before, the last few years, well, if you had something to do, you didn't really sweat it because you knew likely the outcome. Now we're back to the future.
Jared, Jazz will be hard to play against. We are so back.
Oh, well, if I'm a fan, that's what I think too.
And he's getting thumbs up and heart emojis. Loving it.
Right.
Kyle, though, is not. I'll bet Peterson never sees 60 games played in one season in his career.
Ooh.
Wow, his goal is 82 year one. If he doesn't get to 60, that'll be a massive disappointment.
Agreed. Unless we see something that is obvious, and then I don't know that I could hold him accountable.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that. I just thought of a couple scenarios. Why speak that into existence?
Right. But if we see it,
none of us
will understand it.
None of us watch sports to watch injuries. That's why that Homer Simpson bit was...
Of course not.
So hilarious.
I don't even want, if I had a team I rooted against, I wouldn't want them to be injured. Let them play, and it's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to be out there balling, golfing, whatever the sport is, and away you go.
Josh says Ben Simmons 2.0. No.
Well, Ben Simmons couldn't shoot, and it's just a mystifier as to why he went so dang high.
Number one pick, and LSU, I mean, he's in SEC school, he's number one pick, and they don't make the tournament. It's not like a really good player is at a smaller school. He doesn't have enough around him. It's a one-bid league.
I can up that. The Big 12 is better than the SEC. And
they went Sweet 16.
Right, but DeBonce didn't win a tournament game.
That's true. But nonetheless, he got in. And Simmons didn't get his team in.
Well, Peterson didn't go Sweet 16, did they?
I thought Kansas did. Didn't they lose Sweet 16?
I thought they lost in the second round to St. John's in San Diego.
Oh, so they missed Sweet 16.
Yeah. But, I mean, Ace Bailey didn't even make the tournament.
And didn't go number one.
And
that's right.
Didn't Rutgers have a losing record also?
He and Harper, that was brutal.
They played in the Big 10. So you got to be careful on that because ripping Ben Simmons, you're also ripping Harper and Ace Bailey.
I think when I drop down to top 5, I can find a lot more players, but I just don't think many number ones miss the tournament.
Okay, 2 and 5, one position.
I think top 5. The 2 you got me on.
I think you got caught.
On the 2, yes, but not on the 5. I think top 5 I can find guys who didn't make the tournament.
I don't care.
Give me something to do for the rest of the day. All right, DJ PK, we're out of time. Well, it's not the commercial break.
Go home to Honey and talk about the golden years, how they're going to be so beautiful. Plan a little romance in your life. Take her out. Go buy a bouquet. It doesn't always have to be Valentine's. The non-special occasion means even more. There, I just help you. Now report back tomorrow.
Scott Gerard and Tim Lacombe next on The Zone. Stay with us.